What is your approach towards quitting smoking? Is it based on your failed attempts? Is it based on certain information that you have gathered over the social media post? Is it some reference material that you have understood from your friend's experience? Or do you have an approach that is data driven? Let us understand more about this in detail. So when I say data, the first instance that comes into the mind is a lot of numbers or statistics. But don't worry, I'm not going to give you any stats or any numbers or any mathematical stuff that is very complex. We're going to talk about the data from an information perspective. And to understand every bit of this video, I would request you to watch this video till the end so that you understand the whole concept, not into bits and pieces. A couple of months back, before the lockdown, me and my family, we went for a shopping, and we went to a very mega store where my kid daughter saw a bike, a nice pink color bike, and she said that she would love to have it. I said, okay, why not? Your birthday is coming up, so let's buy a present for you. So I asked the person over there that we would like to buy this, and that person said that you can just pay at the counter and you'll get the bike over there. So my impression was like, if I pay for that, I will get the whole bike. But what I got is the box, and I felt like, what is this? I didn't order for this. And that person said that this is a bike, but it's into the bits and pieces, and you have to assemble it by yourself. I'm like, okay, that would be a great thing. When I went home, I opened the box. The first thing that came into my mind is like, do I have the tools to assemble this? And I remembered that the cashier said that you will have a manual inside the box which will help you step by step to assemble this product, and you will also have the instructions. So I'm like, okay, let me search for that manual. So I just found out a small pouch of it. It had a leaflet with step-by-step instructions that how to assemble this bike, and at the end of it there was a small screwdriver, and it was written on it, tools. I was like, wow, the whole thing can get assembled by a small piece of screwdriver. And that took me to a memory lane where I remember my dad used to repair his bike, maybe on certain occasions when it never used to work, or fix something in the house, some electrical stuff. So he has to have a big toolbox, and whenever there was tools needed, whatever, for fixing things, he used to open it and he used to fix it. So I remember at that point of time, whenever there was any essential tool that was needed to fix something, and if it was not there into that toolbox, he always used to call his friends or maybe ask the neighbors to get the tools for him for some time and fix it and give it to back. So at that point of time, I thought like, how can I fix such a complex thing with just a small screwdriver? And I was amazed. I just started doing it, and I fixed it into, I guess, 30 or 35 minutes, and the bike was ready. I guess when my father used to assemble certain things or used to repair certain things, that was about 25 years back. And the day right now is more about the revolution of do-it-yourself. This small piece of screwdriver can help me assemble everything by step. Where do you think this revolution or this piece of information came from? The companies started researching that what makes a product good, how it can be sold to the people, and how you make the whole experience more easier, so that you do not have to send anyone at your place for assembling, or maybe you don't need any complex instructions to assemble things by yourself, or in this matter you do not even need the tools. The tools are given to you. One small screwdriver can fix the whole bike, and the nuts and the bolts and everything can be easily fixed. Where this information came to the companies, it came through the data. That what is the pain point of the customer? Is it really reliable to give a very complex product where they will not have the tools? Is it going to be helpful if we give them the tools and the product is not very user friendly? So at every stage, this information was passed down to the companies, so that how we can help the customers to do the assignment by themselves or assemble the product by themselves, and at a very minimal effort. So what happened over there? did I need very big toolbox to fix that bike? It was, or did I have to ask or search for it how to assemble it? It had like step 1, step 2, step 3 instructions, and it was so easy to assemble just by using a small screwdriver. So why do you think that was possible? Over the years, if you see, companies have started researching about their customers. What are their pain points? What is working good in their product and what isn't? So in that process, they stumbled on a lot of research where they understood that how can they refine the whole process so that customers can have a better user experience. I used to work into a design field for many years. I was a design researcher. So in that way, I used to have chances to, research for many digital products. At that point of time, I used to think that if any app is so awesome, like you must have used the apps like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. Why so many people are using it so in a very easy manner? Why there is no complexity? Because it has a foundation and it has a backup of so much of research that has been happening from so many years, that what is the interaction the person should be helpful for to go to the next step, what kind of colors that the design should have, what kind of content that we should have so that people will understand it, how can be they able to find the information that they are looking out for in a very easy manner. How that is possible? Because of the data, because they've been researching that what is working out, what is not working out, what has worked, how can we improve the user experience of this app and make it more efficient so that more and more people can use it. Another example would be in countries like India or maybe some countries into Africa, they're mobile first. When I say mobile first, that means that they have never used a technology like a laptop or a TV. They just came into the digital lifestyle by using a mobile. And who taught them that you can have the interaction like that with very minimal efforts? If you understand how a mobile works, how a simple application works, they are just get trained so easily and they use it and they get hooked. So my dear friends, I'm going to help you to understand one more example that why data is so important. You must be wondering that he's telling us so many examples, but what it has to do with smoking. Just hang in there. In the same room, I've recorded a video yesterday. There was an issue of the sound, some outside noise was coming, and then when I played the video back again, I found out that there was a sound from my ceiling fan because it was on the top speed. I was sweating though, and today when I started recording this video, I felt like I don't want to have the same noise again into this video. So what can I do? I found that if I change my place a bit where I'm sitting and talking, and if I put my fan on a very minimal speed, the outside noise is minimized. So even though if you have some external or noise, please excuse me for that. Because of the lockdown, our resources are limited, and I'm trying my level best to make the videos so that it helps you to understand that why data is so important. So what happened over there in these two examples? First thing is a toolkit is not needed anymore. A small screwdriver is helpful to assemble a very complex piece of machinery. Second thing is when you feel that you're using many products, digital products, it comes with the research so that the user experience is so great you get hooked, and with very minimal training you know how things work out. Third thing, when I give an example of this room when I was sweating, and I made some small changes. So my focus was what works, what doesn't work, and what doesn't work is needed in terms of the introspection, so that it is helpful for me to make the changes for my next move. So in this whole scenario, there was one thing that, if you remember, I talked about as the data-driven approach. So when I say data-driven approach, that means that constant introspection, constant research about the things that is working out and which is not working out. So So you have tried to quit smoking for many times, you failed, and you felt like, I want to do an NRT. Maybe I want to put some patches tonight, eat some gums. And if that doesn't work, let me go cold turkey. If that doesn't work, let me go for a hypnosis. And it stops for a couple of months, and then again the relapse happens and the whole efforts goes to waste. You always feel very guiltiness that, why this is happening. I'm making so much of efforts and I'm not getting the right results. My dear friends, there's only one issue that is happening over here. You are not having a data-driven approach towards all these techniques. If you're using any technique, trust me, any technique, and if you do not have the right knowledge, a complete knowledge about it, it is most likely that you will fail in it. The first easy approach that you take is you decide that I want to quit smoking. The second thing that you do is this: you do not smoke. Third thing that you feel is like, I'm having the withdrawal symptoms. The best way to deal with them is to suppress them, fight against them, and go through the hell period for 1 or 2 weeks. When you surpass that, the next stage that comes is like you feel happy and you want to continue that. But certain big situation that comes into your life, maybe you come into an argument, such a big thing happens at work. Maybe you are having an intensifying argument with your loved one or your partner. First thing happens is you get disturbed, and when you get disturbed, the first solution that you seek is, I want to get out of this situation as quickly as possible. And your memory lane takes you back again, that what kind of tools I have used in the past to come out of this situation. The easiest solution is go buy a pack, or if you have a pack, open it, light up a cigarette, and feel the stress going out for a very tiny moment. But in reality, it is just you're giving nicotine to your body, so your body is numbing down or relaxing for a very minute period. You feel that this is good. I'm out of my stress. I'm out of my life problem for a very small moment, but it never stays permanent. So when I say data-driven approach, that means if you do not know how your mind works, how your body works in terms of the nicotine withdrawals, in terms of focusing a goal, in terms of understanding why you need to quit in the first place, and not focusing on that, I want to quit now, it has never worked. Look at the patterns in your past. You've tried for 5 times, 6 times, 7 times with the same, methods, and every time, unfortunately, you were disappointed. And whenever you are planning for the next move, you're again doing the same mistake, that you're doing it with half knowledge. Half baked cake never tastes good. I've experienced the same thing in my life when I was smoking. I tried to quit it by reading some material, then getting influenced on social media, and getting into a highly influential post. But when I started experimenting that, does it really work? Last time I used this technique, so what kind of mistakes that I've did? I was under a lot of pressure from my work, and instead of focusing on being calm and peaceful, I was looking for the solutions into smoking, and that never helped me. But every time when I was thinking that I should be stress-free, I was under a big trap that smoking really relieves the stress. But no, it increases it. I've understood that very easily when I started looking at my failed attempts as a data collection point. That means that I did an attempt. I decided 7 days back, for example, I decided that I want to quit smoking. It's been a week. I went through hell in my 7 days. I've tried a patch, I've tried a cold turkey. I had so much of negative thoughts in my mind and my body, and at times I wanted to have a sugary drink, I wanted to have certain kind of foods, and I was lethargic, I was feeling inertia. And one fine day I had an argument with someone, or something was supposed to happen as per my way, but it didn't happen. I felt, a sense of kind of a discomfort and sadness, and the first thing that I did is like I went back to smoking, and I felt more guilty. From that point of onwards, it continued for 2 or 3 months. Then one fine day, I had epiphany that I should quit this habit, because some of my friends and family members really care for me, and I should quit. At that point of time, what I do is like I completely forget about the previous failed attempt, and I continue to do the same thing with more or less different pointers and try to quit the same habit with the same efforts. So when I say data-driven approach, that means you really need to introspect your failed attempts, that what worked in terms that what were the triggers, why I was so stressed, am I having a certain expectations with the activity or with certain person that is disappointing me continuously, or am I just into a trap that I'm not worthy enough, or is my self-esteem is not allowing me to see the positive intent towards my own life. Apart from that, am I looking for an excuse so that I get triggered? Am I looking for a stress relieving agent in some kind of a relationship? Am I looking for a peaceful conversation every time when I speak to someone, expecting that it should go as per my wish? Or am I into an argument that I always want to win? Am I under an ego trap? So my dear friends, it all starts in your mind. Whatever activity you want to do, it all starts in your mind, because it starts with your thought. Thought leads to emotion, emotion leads to action, action leads to feedback, and feedback leads to awareness. So when you go for a data-driven approach, it helps you to introspect with your own experience. It is wisely said that whatever happened with me might not work with you. But if I help you to give you a blueprint that if you follow these steps one by one, as I given an example of my kid's bike, step 1, step 2, step 3, how you do it, it's up to you. But if you apply data pointers into that step 1, maybe I'm putting the nut in a opposite direction, maybe it's not getting fitted, maybe the pressure is less. But when you introspect that fact, you understand that where I need to improve on. So in accordance with your smoking, if you feel that I'm getting triggered because of a certain argument with my loved one or maybe my partner, so it is better to not to argue or talk negative stuff, or to tell that person that how bad he or she is. My focus is that if I stay calm inside, it helps me to see things the way they are. If that is my trigger, if that is upsetting me every time, so it is better for me not to go into that direction. That's how the introspection works. That's how you accumulate data pointers, and you keep a reference of research for you whenever you want to attempt to quit this habit. My dear friends, if you like this video, let me know into the comment box that what kind of research or what kind of data you feel is important to quit. Let us discuss. My name is Anand. I'm your smoke-free coach, and thank you very much for listening to this video. You guys are awesome. Take care.